In too many industries, a handful of giant companies dominate the market. And too often, they use their power to squeeze out smaller competitors and stifle new entrepreneurs.
That was President Biden today during a meeting with farmers and ranchers. He says more government regulation is the answer to inflation. His plan to lower your grocery bill includes a regulation of the meat industry and $1 billion of your taxpayer money, of which $375 million goes to independent meat producers, $275 million to processors, $100 million for inspectors, and $100 million for worker training. And it's needed, or some help is needed now more than ever. Prices for most meats are up double digits. Beef and veal, 20%, pork, 14%, chicken, 8.8%, seafood up 11%. Justin Tupper, vice president of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, sells more than 100,000 cattle a year, was recently called a pillar in the ag community by Livestock News, joins us now. All right, Justin, is the president right that ranchers and meat processors and everybody else are just getting rich on the backs of American consumers?
Well, definitely is. I think he's bringing light to a real big problem. You showed 20% increases in beef, and we're not seeing that at the producer level. So there's only one other place where it's getting holed up, and that's with the big four packers. And that's a big problem as they bottleneck this industry and they take all the profits out of it. We get left holding the crumbs.
Let me ask it this way. You say you control the meat market of the big four, 55 to 85%. Their net income is up 500%. You say you are getting the crumbs. So even somebody who sells 100,000 cattle a year, you don't see an extra dime.
Yeah, the meat prices have been exponentially high. We've seen them at record high prices in the grocery store. The box beef prices that the packer charges the grocery stores have been way up. But what they've paid to the average producer has been at par or below for much of 2021, and that's something that we've got to look forward to change. So we definitely are encouraged that President Biden has taken this as an issue, and we think we definitely need a referee in the meatpacking industry.
You think about all the things that he wants to do: $100 million for inspectors, $100 million for worker training, $270 million to processors, and some to independent meat producers. Is that going to actually solve anything?
Well, I think it's nice to think about that, and I definitely think we need inspectors. That's a big problem that we hear about a lot. And worker training, we know with COVID, it's been tough to get workers. But I think bigger than that is we've got to get in there and figure out what the competition problems are. And the big four packers don't have to compete for our livestock. And then on the other side, as they sell it out the back door, they have all the controlling contracts with the Walmarts, the Safeways, and the big packers have all of those contracts lined up. So when you get an independent producer trying to sell meat to one of those places, they can't get into that marketplace. So I think we've got to fix both sides of the door.
There's this idea, obviously, that regulation can fix a lot. Larry Summers, advisor to President Obama, and then obviously in the cabinet for President Clinton, says if the administration wants to push some prices down, perhaps it can stop advising the already overeager antitrust authorities to pursue cases like meatpacking, where they have very little chance to win. Your response?
Yeah, I think, that's a tough road to hoe. And we understand we don't want more regulation. We think that's tough. But when you have only four packers controlling the industry on both sides, as far as selling the meat to the big grocery store chains and buying all the livestock, they're controlling all the buying power as it comes in to their processing plants. We've either got to have a better referee.
It's sort of the idea of breaking up AT&T, and conceivably you get more competition, something like that. Let me ask it this way. Do you feel in any way the Biden administration is sort of using you guys who are getting squeezed as a dog and pony show, for lack of a better term?
Well, this isn't our first political run. It doesn't matter if it's been Democrats or Republicans. We've heard some of this lip service before. We want some action here in the countryside. We really believe that we need some firm action and some definite changes if we're going to be able to be viable and keep our family farms and ranches in the business.
Hey, Justin, this was a great conversation. There's an added focus now on ranchers and farmers because of Yellowstone, the most popular TV show in the country. I can see a smile in recognition. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, and we'll be checking in with you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the time.